Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Nothing to See Here podcast. Hi, it's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
I'm so sorry. It had never made that noise before. It's because it's Teams. I got a Teams notification, and for some reason, since I use Teams at work, I was immediately like, oh my god, job! Like,
crisis call right now.
I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to change that on my personal laptop. Oh, my heart is like, anyway. So I've been on vacation.
Yeah, how's that been?
You were in Rhode Island.
I was in Boston, but I was in Rhode Island for a little bit.
You were in Boston and Rhode Island, so you can't say you weren't in Rhode Island.
So I went to visit one of my best friends, Carrie, from grad school. She bought a house, by the way. It's a very nice house. Beautiful wallpaper. Apparently the couple who used to live there was going to make that their forever home, and then the husband, had to get a job out of state. And they were like, well, we put all this work into it, we might as well. So, it's gorgeous, but the housing market in Boston is crazy. A normal house here that would be $150,000 would probably be $500,000 out there.
There are houses in Pennsylvania worth $150,000.
Yeah.
Housing is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cheap, is what I'm saying.
To be fair, in the area I'm at, that's cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
The cheapest I found around my area is $190,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, in, the Boston, outside of Boston area, we're looking at, $500,000, so... Yeah, that hurt. But one of the sinks has a little swan faucet. So.
Ooh.
So literally, as soon as I left, they're like, as soon as you leave, we're going into, pack mode. Cause, So, I got down there Thursday morning. Wednesday night, I was going to fly down Wednesday night, but I couldn't because 17 had a concert, movie that was released in cinemas, and it was showing on Wednesday evening, so I of course went. Frankie, don't worry, I know you couldn't come with me, so I ended up buying the concert movie. It went on pre-order today, so it should get here end of April, beginning of May. So no worries there.
I wonder what we're gonna do on your first night when I can come over again. When it's your night again?
Yeah. Well, that's if it's here.
Yeah, but you said that if it's by end of April, then it will be here.
End of April, beginning of May-ish. So flew down Thursday night, and, Thursday morning, and, I fucking hate flying. I forget how much I hate flying. And there's only a few people in the world that I will fly for, and one other reason in particular I will fly for, and that's to go to Disney.
Would you fly to go to Korea?
Or Korea. I would go to South Korea, 100%. Maybe Japan. Maybe. I'd have to see what they're offering me.
It's not a fucking sports team. You're not getting signed to a contract.
Yeah, well.
What's the money like, Japan?
Yeah, it's debatable. Am I going to meet Monkey D. Luffy?
He's not real, so no.
Fuck off, Frankie. I can meet his voice actress.
Character.
I could meet his voice actress.
Leave
me alone. Anyway, so Thursday night was kind of chill. Amanda's gonna decompress from a plane ride. It was a fine plane ride. It was a JetBlue. It's very nice. The seats, or the plane was not full, so I had a whole row to myself. And
oh, you won.
Oh wait, you're gonna get so mad. So. They have to wait the plane, right? So the woman came to me and she was like, would you mind moving seats? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm sure. She's like, you'll still have a window seat and everything. I was like, perfect. She moved me up to the second row. I was in first class.
That's so nice.
Oh, it was amazing. There's nobody behind me either, so I could lay back.
How did you win the flying lottery?
I don't I don't fucking know. You're gonna get even more upset. As they were passing out snacks and beverages, they were like, "Do you want another one?"
Fuck yeah, I want another one.
I was like, "Yes, I would like another one, please and thank you." So, thank you, JetBlue. I will be flying you from now on.
JetBlue, sponsor us.
Sponsor us, JetBlue. I did fly an Airbus though, because I don't trust those Boeing shit. Nah. So we relaxed. We watched a little bit of Puppet History. Getting caught up in the new season, because Carrie has not gotten caught up in the new season. Friday, obviously also a chill day because she had to work. Saturday, we went to the Harry Potter exhibition in Boston.
What the fuck does that mean?
It was an exhibition that featured props, scenes, sets from the Harry Potter movies. You got to, like, make your own potions. You got to, like, pot a mandrake. You know. I'll send you pictures if you'd like.
I was hoping you were going to go to a convention and it was a bunch of people just saying, fuck JK transphobe.
Nobody, I'm sure anybody in there doesn't really care about J.K. Rowling. They only care about the thing that she created that basically was everybody's childhood. So, as much as I hate the woman, I can't distance myself from a part of my childhood. Can't do it. I sat in Umbridge's chair. I sat in Hagrid's little leather seat thing. It was so much fun. I saw the outfit that Eddie Redmayne wore in Fantastic Beasts. So.
Why does it always come back to Eddie Redmayne?
That man. There's something about him.
Don't reference his worst performances.
I will leave.
Those movies are all bad. If you try and sit here and defend those movies as being good, they're terrible. All two of them I've seen.
I'm not saying that they're good. I will not say that the movies are good.
They made more than one.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be 5 of them, and they stopped after the third because they got so bad.
I thought they stopped after the first one because it did so bad.
No, the first one did very well.
But people, like, it had name recognition, and then people were like, oh, this movie's bad, and so people didn't see the sequel, but.
The movies were fine. I'm not gonna say they were good, but they were fine. What I will say, though, is Eddie Redmayne's character, for what he was given, he did a lot with that. He made him cute, he made him quirky. I give the man credit. For the script, I give the man credit. And I will always support Eddie Redmayne in his endeavors.
I will always trash Eddie Redmayne.
Please don't. Why? Why do you hate him so much?
Because he didn't win me my Oscar bet, and he took away my Tony's bet pool, and he took away the Oscar from a more deserving actor.
That's not his fault.
It's not his fault, but I'm going to blame him.
No! Hannah.
You two are the different sides of a coin.
This is where you're supposed to support me, Hannah.
No, the Eddie Redmayne coin is Amanda exalting at his feet and Frankie there to throw dirt in his face.
We're watching, you know what, if the 17 movie doesn't come, we're watching Eddie Redmayne movies my next night. God, and you can't veto them because you vetoed...
Please pick good ones.
Because you vetoed Repo.
Please pick good Eddie Redmayne
No,
movies.
Frankie, you need to watch Repo.
Yeah, he vetoed Repo.
It's not as bad as you're thinking it's gonna be.
He vetoed Repo in favor of Rock and Roll.
We talked about Rock and Roll. We talked about it on the show. Rock and Roll was terrible. We talked about this.
Yes, but you didn't say you vetoed Repo.
Because I didn't know Rock and Roll was the other option, to be fair.
You did. I did tell you.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, well, I just really don't want to watch Repo. I don't want to. I don't want to watch Paris Hilton.
It's her best acting role.
Yeah.
Like, she's unironically good.
Yeah, even better than her stint in Supernatural.
I don't remember her stint in Supernatural.
Because we haven't gotten there yet, dum-dum.
Alright, well.
Anyway, so we went to the Harry Potter exhibition. Then we went to Italy, which was delicious. It's just like a giant Italian market, but better, and you can eat there.
They have a restaurant there, yeah. They have one in New York. I've been to that one.
But like the market was so good, Carrie ended up getting a pasta dryer, and we were planning on going to Putt Shack and doing some other stuff, but we were like, do you just want to go home and make pasta? We got some gelato, which was heavenly, by the way, and then we went home, and we were going to make pasta, but we took a nap instead. The Friday night before we got high and watched The Prince of Egypt, and I did not cry, by the way. But I did think she was mad at me because she was very silent. She was just very engrossed in the movie.
I'm very impressed you didn't cry.
Thank you. By the way,
especially while under the influence.
Thank you. By the way, R.I.P. Val Kilmer. I only know him as Moses, really. I know he was in Heat and a bunch of other stuff, but he will always be Moses to me. And then Sunday, Mom came in Sunday morning to come to the Bloom Festival, which was a flower garden and market thing that we went to last year. And I bought a bunch of candles. By the way, I did buy a bunch of merch at the Harry Potter exhibition too. I feel like I didn't have to tell you that. Like I feel like you knew that.
You didn't need to confirm it.
I was gonna too. Anyway, but I got 7 candles.
Why?
'Cause they smell good. I got one candle. It's called Flower Child from Soy Much Brighter, and it's orange blossom, jasmine, and bergamot, and it smells delicious. Also from the same place, I got a peach patch, which is peach, sweetgrass, and cedar. So good. Yes, I'm smelling them on air. I got one called Mountain Air, which is pine, balsam, and Hintofapple. Hintofapple. I'm assuming that's Hintofapple. I got one called Conjure, which is, it just says basil and adventure.
That doesn't sound good.
Hold on.
What, you don't like the smells of basil and adventure?
No, it's good. It's very good.
Why is basil the only scent note?
Adventure is another scent note.
Yeah, adventure is the other scent note. Wild Atlantic Way by Latitude Home. I got 3 candles from Latitude Home. This one is Sea Spray, Wildflowers, and Oak Moss. Ooh, smells like the ocean. Just a hint of flowers. This one is probably one of my favorites, is a black tea and bergamot, which is bergamot, tea leaves, and musk. And, the last one I got is called the Sicilian. It's blood orange, rosemary, and vetiver, Vetiver. Whatever it is, I had Carrie smell it, and she's like, I need this candle. And she went and bought it right after. So I came home with a bunch of candles. So we left yesterday morning, and I basically slept the rest of the day. And then today was kind of my recoup day, and then I go back to work tomorrow. But as we were flying home, all of these candles were in my bag, and of course it gets flagged by TSA. So this woman pulls me aside, opens my bag, and my mother proceeds to tell her that I have a problem. And she has to swab each and every candle. And I kid you not, the woman was like, there are worse problems to have. She opened one of the candles to swab it and was like, I can see why you bought this. This smells amazing. And I was like, right? So I feel like my candle addiction was encouraged. So, and that was how my vacation went.
Well, maybe the TSA should be shut down then. Damn.
Why?
They're encouraging your addiction.
You can't say...
Enablers.
Hey, well, Frankie, you haven't been in my room, but Hannah's been in my room. Hannah, my room smells amazing.
No?
Are you saying
your
that
room didn't smell at all?
Insulting.
So I'm getting conflicting information here, Amanda.
I'm insulted. I'm so insulted.
I'm being told your room smells amazing, and then Hannah an objective third party is saying it just has no sense.
You can find out for yourself, Franklin.
Okay.
All right. How was your guys' this week?
Fine. I didn't do anything exciting.
Oh, well, it's not fun.
It's
right.
not fun, but you know what is fun? Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we're talking about another one-off special, The Scooby-Doo Project from 1999. This was a Halloween special and a satire of the Blair Witch Project and the Scooby-Doo franchise overall. It aired on October 31st, 1999 during Cartoon Network's Scooby-Doo Where Are You Marathon in small segments during the commercial breaks, and the segments were then re-aired in their completed form with an extended ending at the end of the marathon. How did this get made? Well, in 1999, when 3 different Scooby-Doo marathons were scheduled for October, 3 Cartoon Network animators got assigned to create individual packaging and promotion for them. When the film The Blair Witch Project became a major success in August, the 3 animators requested if they were allowed to pull together their resources to make a satire of the film. They put together a short proof of concept video consisting of Daphne running through the woods, and the higher-ups at Cartoon Network approved the idea.
All it took was Daphne running through the woods.
Yeah, I guess so. The script was written and produced to air in sketch form within intro and outro bumps across the programming stunt, with the whole content still making sense when compiled together after the fact. The budget given for original animation was limited, so the animators made sure to get all the characters from the back as part of the package deal. A lot of lip flap was used several times over as well. The mockumentary-style suburban neighborhood interviews were filmed at one of the producers' mother and father's house, and both of them appear in the final product. I couldn't find which ones they were, though, so that's a little sad.
That's adorable that they were literally like, Mom, Dad, like, it feels like a film project from college. Like, Mom, Dad, can we use your house?
And we have no money, can you be in it?
Yeah.
The forest scenes were filmed in the backyard of the house.
That's amazing.
They all drove up to the house after regular work hours to stage with tents, piles, and sticks. There was a set of scenes filmed at a drive-in theater that ended up not being included in the marathon.
That was the whole budget.
Mm-hmm. The car that Cartoon Network used for the Mystery Machine was on a promotional tour in Canada at the time, so a couple of the producers flew to Canada, got the footage of the Mystery Machine in a day, and then flew back. The press conference footage was filmed in a conference room by the cafeteria in the middle of a workday.
That's hilarious.
This is feeling more and more like a college film project. The more you talk.
The deputy in the background was played by a programming executive who had worked at several of Cartoon Network's major shows in the last 20 years. And several more from the company who were at the office that day did the voice acting for the press people asking questions.
Do you think this was the cool thing to do that day?
That was
definitely
amazing.
They were really excited that day. The voice cast of the Scooby Gang was recorded over the phone from Los Angeles, and was the same team that was making Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island at around the same. Not Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost at around the same time. The whole thing was put together at Turner Studios in Atlanta. The crew was somewhat panicked, however, as they noticed many other people started doing Blair Witch parodies for fall TV premieres on other networks, meaning they had to beat them to air. However, they were relieved when the press started crowning the Scooby-Doo Project as one of the better parodies when it finally premiered. Due to how well received the work was, it ended up being the excess over-programming agreed to play the whole special strung together at the end of the night. Several promos for the special aired leading up to the marathon, featuring additional content which didn't make it into the special itself. One of them is a clip of Daphne running through the woods from who is revealed to be Scrappy-Doo. Another features the gang coming across an abandoned drive-in in the woods, where Shaggy and Scooby immediately look for the snack bar and begin eating the abandoned candy, which Velma exclaims is likely 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So the cast for the movie, Scott Enos is Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and Scrappy-Doo. Frank Welker is Fred Jones, B.J. Ward is Velma, and Mary Kay Bergman is Daphne.
Why do the credits say Casey Kasem as Shaggy?
I don't know. It's definitely not Casey Kasem. Because Casey Kasem had stopped voicing Shaggy at this point.
Yeah, because of the meat thing.
Mm-hmm. We watched, so we'll review we watched the whole version that aired that night at the end of the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
The extended version. The ending of it, though, I'll just point out where the original ended. The original end point without the extended version that we'll talk about is when Shaggy is found, like, staring into the corner of the room.
Like the original Blair Witch.
The original Blair Witch. And then you hear the scream and the camera falls. That's how it originally ended. And then everything after that is what they added at the extended for the overrun.
Yeah, because they were probably like, oh, kids might think they're dead.
The special, like I said, was very well received. A Vanity Fair author stated that the special reproduces the original film so faithfully that there was no reason to see the dull original.
Oh.
They really hated Blair Witch.
I know. Film critic Kim Newman noted the special as being one of the few Blair Witch Project spoofs which were quite funny. Jonathan Barkin of Bloody Disgusting found the special pretty damn funny and a wonderful meta-recognition of how silly horror can sometimes be. He also added that it is a perfect horror story for children, as they can then learn to not take horror 100% seriously. RVA magazine, in contrast, felt that its success came mostly due to how it shifted boundaries for a children's show. Quote, under the right lack of lighting, it was actually kind of scary. He also expressed that the animation and live action meshed together better than one would have thought. Spencer Voiles of the Journal agreed, stating that it is a, quote, strangely spooky episode that struck fear in the hearts of kids hoping to enjoy a day of classic cartoons. Chris Morgan of Paste magazine described the special as fascinating to look at out of an aesthetic point of view. And Rusty Blazenhoff of Boing Boing called the special a gem of 1999. I knew you were going to love Boing Boing.
That's a funny name. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Is Boing Boing still around?
I don't know if Boing Boing is still around. I didn't try to go to the website.
It looks like it is.
I found the review on, like, I confirmed it on, like, Internet Archive of Boing Boing. I didn't go to the actual website, so. But Amanda says it is. The special won the 2000 Annie Award for Outstanding Animated Special Project. The original generic animations that were made for the special were reused several times long after its airing. Shots of Scooby-Doo from this got reused during Cartoon Campaign 2000, and footage of Fred featured prominently during the Cartoon Network halftime show of Big Game Roadrunner vs. Coyote the following year. In the Big Game cartoon bumper, a technical issue leads to Fred and Molter from Space Ghost Coast to Coast being heard during the live airing, and they kind of ruin the ending of this. I'll reveal what happens after Amanda takes us through the ending of this, because I don't want to ruin it before we start the review. But the success of this first special prompted Cartoon Network to make a sequel in 2001, Night of the Living Do. But they have never officially released the special on home video. There are 3 DVD volumes of the Best of Cartoon Network on air, produced for posterity's sake, which do feature it, but they never released it on home video for people to purchase.
Are we covering Night of the Living Do?
We are.
Okay.
Cartoon Network did upload the full special in 2022 as part of the network's 30th anniversary to their YouTube channel. Although the scenes with Scrappy-Doo and the extended ending were removed in the YouTube version. So we watched a completely legal YouTube version that has all of that.
Mm-hmm.
The reviews on IMDb, it has a 7.4 out of 10 rating. And there are no 1-star reviews. There are some 1-star ratings, but no 1-star reviews. So all we have is a 10-star review from Galez66857, left on July 28th, 2003. The review is titled, Cute. Fun, fun, fun. I loved it. Such a great spoof of the Blair Witch Project. Scooby and the whole gang really, 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 really funny. I sat there all day laughing my head off. Scooby-Doo can pull anything off.
Wow. So detailed.
A killer review. Now, Amanda, take us through the Scooby-Doo project.
I will. I did not write down all of the jokes that I found funny, but there are quite a few in here that got me pretty good.
The special was way funnier than I remembered it being.
Yeah, no, it's fucking hilarious.
That's why I always thought this was like a fan-made thing.
Oh.
Because it almost like, I don't want to say it verges into adult humor, but it definitely doesn't play to an under 10 demographic.
Yeah, no, there's some adult humor in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts, this extended version that we watched, it starts, with a little screen with some words on it, a black screen with white words that says, in the fall of 1999, 4 teenage sleuths and their Great Dane got lost in the woods while in search of a mystery. Tells it like it is. Oh, I forgot. This is their story. And I was imagining, like, the Law and Order bump after that part. Come on.
I was gonna say true crime doc, but yeah.
No, I was thinking Law and Order SVU. We start out, by seeing, like, clipped together footage, some faces. We are constantly reminded that we are watching Cartoon Network. By the way, throughout this whole thing. And it got to the point where I was getting kind of pissed off. We then see the abandoned mystery machine, surrounded by police tape.
The abandoned mystery machine is creepy. I don't like it.
Yeah, it was weird. We moved to a press conference that Frankie was talking about, with missing poster of all 5 members of Mystery Incorporated in the back. They're answering questions. We then cut to Velma kind of basically introducing everybody. She introduces everybody in the mystery machine. Is this the point, or in the mystery gang, is this the point where she makes fun of Shaggy's name, Norville? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Which, leave him alone. He didn't pick that name. They all
make fun of his name, dude. Yeah. They're all bullying Shaggy for his name.
Yeah. Even Scooby. His name is Scoobert. He has no right.
Scoobert-Doo.
But he's a dog. He's a dog, and these dogs can have the stupidest names, and it's still adorable.
Well, let Shaggy have his name. He didn't pick it. He obviously didn't pick it. He doesn't like it.
Yeah. I knew a girl in middle school whose first name was Bunny and middle name was Caterpillar. She's since changed her name. But she did not pick that name, and I always felt so bad for her. She's very nice, very pleasant. Anyway, so Velma then explains that she is recording all of this to document one of their mysteries that they're on. This new one. But she's going to have this camera. The footage then cuts to a bunch of interviews with, like, a bunch of different locals. And they're each describing this monster that is haunting the woods. And they all seem different. Like, they're all different.
They all describe a different creature, which is, like, really good. That's what would happen in real life.
Yeah. Like, none of them, like, if these were eyewitness testimonies, like, you would get nothing from this. The only thing you could get, possibly, was that there was an unknown thing in a woods.
Something was hanging out in those woods.
Yeah, that's about it. Like, none of it made sense. At the last interview, though, was an old woman who has very poor teeth. Shaggy did make sure to note that.
I hope that's not the producer's mom. That'd be real mean.
Yeah, I know. But she warns them not to even enter the location. And it's kind of, crotchety old lady vibes. So, I actually did not think she was an old lady for a second.
I thought it was a man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Um,
Shaggy, though, brutal. Brutal mocking of her. Why don't we get that version of Shaggy more?
Yeah, no, honestly, Shaggy had some great liners in here. So, we then cut to the gang driving through the woods. Despite being warned to not, which they never listened, so that's fine. But Shaggy does note that things feel different. This doesn't feel right. The woods look more realistic.
What do you guys think of this style? Like we've seen it in a few of your Disney films, Amanda. What do you think of this style of obviously it's way lower budget than what they were doing at Disney, even that back then. What do you think of this style of the animation on the live action?
It definitely makes me uneasy, like it puts me on edge because I'm so not used to it, but I think that's the whole point. So I think it works very well here. But if this was going to be if this was a normal Scooby-Doo episode, and we found out the monster, wasn't real and all of that stuff, I think I'd be a little off. It'd become a lot after a while. I know one of the reasons why people hated the Blair Witch, and it was one of the most walked out movies at the time, was because of the camera shakiness and stuff. It was making people sick. Yeah. I feel like if I watched enough of this, I would get to that point. I think I think a special perfect for this, but because it's so shaky and because it's so basically splotched together, it does fit the found footage vibe, but the found footage vibe can only be sustainable for so long. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Is it weird that I think because it's so low budget, that's what sells it to me?
No, that's not weird. I think that's what makes it work.
Yeah. Okay. and that's part of the reason why the actual Blair Witch movie worked, too.
That and their massive campaign.
It was something different for the time. Nobody really did found footage horror movies. And then we had a whole slew of them.
Then we had too many.
Yeah. Then we killed
Then Paranormal Activity happened.
We beat the dead horse. Yeah.
Yeah, then Paranormal Activity happened, and they were like, oh, a new version of found footage. And then we did too many of those.
Yeah. We did Paranormal Activity. There was also that one where, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but it was a bunch of fireballs fall from the sky during New York City or whatever. Oh god, what's it called? I have to look this up now or else I'm not gonna be able to. Found footage. No, it's not War of the Worlds. No, but that one did fuck me up.
What, War of the Worlds fucked you up, or this one you're talking about?
War of the Worlds fucked me up.
The Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
Is it just because it had Tom Cruise in it?
Yeah, that would fuck me up too.
No, so it was the part where they granted, when that came out, right?
Scientologist.
Yeah. Granted, when that came out, I was young still. I did not like that they took humans into the machine and shredded them, and that's what all of the gross little veiny stuff was that was on the ground. That fucked with me. And not in a great way. Cloverfield, that's what it was. Also, yeah, I'm not used to seeing Tom Cruise in a horror film. I'm also not, I could not vibe with Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning being related. You don't look alike at all.
Movie magic.
Yeah. So Shaggy notes that the woods look more realistic than what they're used to, probably because it's not cartoonish. And they arrive at a cemetery in the woods, which is apparently where this curse began. Shaggy was not informed that they would be sleeping at the cemetery.
I'm with Shaggy. I wouldn't sleep in a cemetery.
Oh, I would. 100%. Now, I think it's wrong that they didn't let Shaggy know because he didn't bring a sleeping bag. As we'll find out, he only had a rock as a pillow. That was quite mean of them. Because they obviously planned ahead. Why didn't they plan and give him his own sleeping bag?
Because they're all mean to Shaggy. They were bullying him earlier.
Yeah. I was quite upset by that. Why are they all friends?
Like, this isn't how we interact half the time.
You would bring a sleeping bag. You would prank and say, oh no, Amanda, we forgot your sleeping bag. But you would bring a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I'd probably forget my own sleeping bag, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. So Shaggy is horrified that they're going to be sleeping here. And as Velma is trying to explain the curse, Shaggy and Scooby basically plug their ears and go, no. I am not listening. Mm-mm. So I think we move to the next day. And basically, the gang kind of talks about having an encounter with something in the woods. But it was off screen. Velma, I think, makes a comment that they've been walking for a while because they're trying to find whoever, whatever it was that was, like, trying to scare them. Daphne ascertains that the monster is the farmer. The one that they had interviewed earlier, and he just wants them off their land. Fair.
So get off the land then, guys. Just
Yeah.
leave.
They blatantly say, yeah, we're going to continue to trespass.
Yeah, 100%. So we move to that night, and Fred is also trying to set up the tent, and Velma is trying to set up the tent with the camera in hand. Fred gets pissed. Like, just put the fucking camera down, Velma. I was expecting him to say that. He didn't, but he was very, very close. And they all find that they have to smoosh into that tent together. One tiny tent. Apparently, Daphne tells Shaggy at one point to take his shoes off, and then immediately was like, nope, on second thought, don't do that. This is when we find out that Shaggy only has a rock to sleep on. I think at one point in this night, too, I think it's Daphne wakes up and she's saying something about how there's something outside of the tent. And Fred is having a sexy dream, I'm almost positive. Because he finally wakes up and says, oh man, it wasn't real. Poor Fred. But
poor Fred.
has to be, they're all teenagers. It has to be shitty being in a tight tent, hormones all raging, with a dog. Yeah, that's not fun. But Velma wakes up to a sound outside the tent, which also in turn wakes Daphne up, which is when we get the whole, Fred trying to wake Fred up, or Daphne trying to wake Fred up, thing. Velma asks if the noise is Scooby, but we then hear a very distant yell of puppy power.
The most terrifying scene in the whole episode.
I would also be running away.
This was hilarious. They hear puppy power, and this sends them all into a panic. They are scrambling out of the tent, running in the woods, and
in the dark.
Yeah. Scrappy finds them and is like, hey, guys. They use this as an opportunity to make him take the lead in investigating and then flee, without him knowing.
They left this puppy out there to die.
That's fine.
He's a terrifying monster.
Yeah.
This is his villain origin story.
It could be.
I mean, we technically see that in the live action, but...
We do.
We can pretend this is canon.
Uh-huh. So they go back to the tent, and later that night, they hear strange noises again outside of the tent. And they make Shaggy and Scooby investigate. They do comply. I think Scooby gets separated from Shaggy after they run away from a monster, which they saw. I think he was kind of running across some, like, stones of some kind. It's the next morning. Oh wait, I didn't talk about the piles of Scooby snacks. They wake up the next morning, and they find a pile of Scooby snacks.
That looks disgusting.
They do look gross. They find a pile of Scooby snacks. Shaggy and Scooby, they're asking, did you put them here? And they're like, nope, whatever. And somebody says something, and Scooby goes to try them, and Shaggy is like, oh, he tricked me. He definitely put those there. So, Scooby just got a bunch of Scooby snacks. We then see Velma trying to interpret a map. But Daphne then calls her out for not being able to read the map right, and they've been walking for the past, 2 hours. At this point, everybody begins to bicker and, start fighting with each other and, making passive-aggressive. They're not even passive-aggressive anymore. They're just full-on aggressive comments. They then show Velma's map. And it is very much the stereotypical cartoon map that is just a dotted line with a large X.
So funny.
Such a good bit. So no wonder why they can't find the Mystery Machine. They look at it and they all say it's useless. They also fail to retrace their steps because they find footprints and they recognize that, oh, it's just the same. There are footprints. We've been walking in circles.
And they're cartoon footprints.
Yeah. Eventually, after they're walking for, we get a couple cuts, and then Fred and Velma are fighting over who has the map, and we find out Shaggy and Scooby have eaten the map. They've eaten the map with Tabasco, along with the rest of all of their food, on the very first night. We cut to night again. Fred is frantic. He's going through it. He starts talking about how they've been trapped in the forest for a week, they haven't unmasked a villain, and he misses the little things. They miss how they used to solve mysteries in only 22 minutes. I think he has some 5 o'clock shadow, or some scruff on his face, something. He looks homeless. They soon find more piles of Scooby snacks. And despite Daphne saying don't eat them, Shaggy and Scooby do eat them. Shaggy then screams in horror because those Scooby snacks are stale.
Yeah, it is a nightmare.
A little while later, Velma loses her glasses. This was probably my favorite part. Velma loses her glasses, to which Fred, who has lost his patience, just starts yelling at her about how he's always told her she needs a glasses strap.
She is always losing those glasses.
Yeah.
It's a very real statement.
Yeah.
I will say this, the writing on this was so good, where they have them bicker like teenagers who have been hungry and lost and scared and who are friends, like they would bicker. These are all very real conversations.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Fred then proceeds, Velma's like, can you help me find my glasses? And he's like, you're not going to help find them, though, because you can't see them. So it's me and Shaggy and Scooby who are going to find them. And, as they're arguing and just, ranting, Velma's just fucking wandered off. She's wandered off because she can't see. So Daphne has to go look for her. When Daphne does find her, she complains about not being able to take care of her appearance due to spending time in the woods. She's chipped a nail. She's got a run in her stockings.
All very, very real and concerning issues.
Mm-hmm.
My nails are broken currently. It's horrible.
While she's ranting, Scrappy reappears, and Daphne starts running. Just blindly panicking. Velma tries to tell her that there isn't a monster, but Daphne just lets her know that she's not running because of a monster, she's running because Scrappy is there. They continuously hear monster noises throughout, and they track these noises to a haunted house in the middle of the forest. And they go inside. They find a radio. Velma clicks it on to see if they're on the news, and a song starts playing. Shaggy exclaims that they always get chased when music is playing, and this is a bad sign. At which point, a monster does appear and chases them upstairs. Velma says she hates the part with the doors and stands to the side as she films the monsters chasing other people, doing the back and forth door-to-door thing. That was hilarious. She's like, I'm just not gonna do it this time.
Velma hates the door gag.
I would hate it too if I had to keep doing it.
That is canon.
Yeah, but that also is running. The monster then pops up directly in front of Velma and chases her down to the basement, where Shaggy is standing in a corner. Velma's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm scared, man. Like, I am facing the wall because I am scared. And the monster charges at Velma and the screen cuts to black. This is where it originally ended, I believe, Frankie.
Yes, that's the original ending.
The extended, the one that we watched, so we find out that the gang has trapped the monster. There's a cut, the monster is trapped, he's tied to a chair. Fred unmasks him, and it is just a random live-action guy. He calls them intrusive kids, which Shaggy then points out he got it wrong. It's meddling. Velma asks, hey, why did...
Amanda, when you say it's just a random guy, it's really funny. This is what made me laugh the most when Fred goes, the monster is just some guy.
Yeah.
That was really good.
It's fantastic. Velma asks, what was the whole point of this? He's like, dudes, it's Halloween. Everybody's dressed up. Aren't you guys dressed up? Fred then asks, if that was the case and it is Halloween, why did he scare them the previous night at the cemetery? To which the guy was like, I didn't do that. So Daphne wonders who it was that scared him, and the real monster appears, screaming at them through an open window. They drop the camera, and they run, leaving the man just fucking tied to the chair. Like, they abandoned that fucker.
It's everyone for themselves.
Yeah. We hear a struggle and some running, and then the camera cuts out. It's then revealed that the mystery machine was eventually discovered, abandoned, and search parties found hundreds of Scooby snacks over several days, as well as the camera. But they haven't found the gang themselves. A missing persons poster shows the entirety of the Mystery Inc. Incorporated gang, which I guess is suggesting that they either died or disappeared following this attack.
Yes, what happened? Because there's no closure.
I
So we have to decide what has happened.
They obviously
it's
escaped.
It's just ambiguous.
Yeah,
it's
they obviously escaped.
Well, they might have died because that was a real monster, and they haven't. I don't know where this is in continuity. So, like, maybe they've never dealt with a real monster before, so they don't know what to do.
So what happened in this big game cartoon thing?
So, in the big game, they ruined this ending. I actually like this ending. I like the ambiguous ending.
Mm-hmm.
But in the big game cartoon bumper, like I said, a technical issue leads to Fred and Moltar from Space Ghost Coast to Coast being heard during the live airing.
Oh, I love Moltar.
And it's revealed by Fred that he and the mystery gang escaped from the monster and revealed it to be another guy in a mask whom they arrest. He then states that when they tried to inform people of these events, they ignored them and stated that the footage was just another tired ripoff of the Blair Witch Project.
I kinda like it.
I hate it. I like the ending as it is, where you don't really know what happened.
Now I want to watch Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast is a good show.
I love Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Everyone should watch Space Ghost Coast to Coast. If you aren't watching Space Ghost Coast to Coast, what are you doing?
That and Aqua Teen, that and Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Birdman is good too. Finish watching this and then watch Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's all we have tonight.
That is all we have
for our Scooby-Doo in review.
Yeah, I got nothing else. Hannah, Are we going back to Barbie?
Well, we gotta talk about next month, what our next Scooby-Doo is.
We have to rank this still too.
And we do. Yeah, we have to rank this as well, yeah.
No, whatever.
So this is a special. So, do we like this better than the Johnny Bravo episode of Scooby-Doo?
Oh, no.
Yes.
No! You like Johnny Bravo better, Amanda.
I think I like Johnny Bravo better.
Frankie, I really like the Blair Witch knockoff Scooby-Doo.
Man, this is so tough for me because I love Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
But this is also so good.
I'm not going to be unhappy either way.
I'm gonna put Scooby-Doo Project ahead of it because I think it's just so. Like, I've seen a lot of Blair Witch Project parodies, and this is probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put the Scooby-Doo Project number one of the specials and crossovers. But Johnny Bravo is close.
Mm-hmm.
So, our next episode of Scooby-Doo next month, we're back to the movies. Done. No special, no TV show.
Come on, aliens.
It is Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders from the year 2000. So I'll be doing that.
Shaggy gets a girlfriend.
Yeah, movie number 3. Well, Shaggy's already had a girlfriend. He had Googie.
Yeah, but I never knew that as a kid. This is the first one that I remember watching where I was like, oh, Shaggy has a love interest. And they even show like a scene where, like, in a fictional world, they have a baby together.
That is true. Shaggy becomes a father in this movie. Fictional, but
Shaggy becomes a simp.
Yes.
that is true. Shaggy
Both
is
of them. Both of them do.
Yeah.
It's true because she's got a dog.
She's got a dog. Shaggy and Scooby both become simps.
We got 2 simps in this movie.
Although, I'll be frank, that girl, I'm gonna call her a girl, even though I know things, that girl, kind of hot.
You're right.
I know,
You're right.
I know I'm right. You didn't have to tell me I was right. I knew I was right.
So yeah, we'll be doing Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders next month. But next week, Hannah, you are in charge.
I am in charge, yes. And we are finally going to revisit an old series I have for the show.
What's that?
It's about damn time we did some more Haunter Hoax.
Oh no,
Oh.
I forgot about Haunter Hoax.
I wanted Barbie.
Barbie is gonna be my next episode.
I want a Barbie Rapunzel. She has the magic paintbrush.
Soon.
I identify with that so
soon.
much.
It's coming soon.
Why do you think I became an artist? That movie had a lot to do with it. I'm pretty damn sure.
Well, you'll have to wait another month for that. No, we're gonna go to Haunter Hoax, and I'm gonna torture you too.
I mean, those are mostly torture of Amanda, to be fair.
Yeah, I hate them. 'Cause they're all hoaxes.
I always indulge a little bit, unless you're bringing a ghost, and then I'm not.
Well, they're always ghosts.
That's true.
I tell you about haunted houses.
That's
What the
that's true.
fuck, Frankie?
Could be
Would
haunted
you like
by
me
alien.
to bring you a demon?
Well, I believe in that even less. Ghosts. Yeah, I didn't think that through. Never mind. Yeah, it's a hoax.
Definitely didn't.
Hannah. Hannah, I'm gonna let you know right now, it's a hoax.
It's so rude of you to say.
Spoiler
You don't know what
alert.
I'm telling you about?
I'm also going to let you know. Hoax.
What are you telling us about? Tell it. Give us a hint.
It is a well-known case.
Oh, well known.
Are the assholes, the Warrens, involved?
Technically speaking, yes, but not
Oh, alright. Definite hoax.
Definite hoax.
hoax.
They're technically there, but they didn't do shit.
So, like all
The
their other
Haunting of
cases.
Hill House.
Hill House isn't real.
I don't know. I'm just
The
naming
Nun.
haunted
That
houses.
is a book. That
We're
is
gonna
Gothic
talk about
literature.
the Nun.
Oh, right.
We're gonna talk about the Crooked Man.
Annabelle?
No, I wouldn't put Annabelle in Haunter Hoax because she's obviously a hoax.
The doll's real, though. The doll does exist.
The doll is real, but doesn't do anything.
You can go see her.
Yeah.
In a glass case.
She's
in more high secure prisons than some actual violent criminals. Damn.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave it a surprise.
No.
I'm fine with that.
Let me think about some things. I have to think about some things. Let me think.
About, like, what
She's
you did in
rethinking her friendship with me.
Yeah, what you did in your life to lead you to this path.
Is it the devil made me do it case?
No, because that is a murder, and I don't want to get into that. Although that is a very interesting true crime case.
Let me tell that person something. That defense doesn't work.
Yeah.
The Smurl haunting.
Are you on their Wikipedia?
No.
Yes. That's a yes if I ever heard one.
What about the haunting in Connecticut?
Oh god, that would take me forever to get through. No.
Yeah, please no.
I think I technically have it on the list, but I'm not touching it because there's too much stuff happening right now.
And Frankie only has too much time to edit.
So is it the Smurl family haunting?
No. It's not. You are incorrect.
Is it part of the Conjuring universe at all?
Technically, yes.
Oh.
Really?
It's the Nun!
It is the Nun!
It's not the Nun. The Nun doesn't exist.
I mean, there's 2 movies that tell me otherwise.
Fair.
There's 2 documentary films out there that...
The Poltergeist one.
Poltergeist? Yeah.
Poltergeist is not part of the Conjuring universe.
No, the Enfield Poltergeist.
Ding, 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 we have a winner.
Yes! That was the Conjuring 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Nice.
That was the one in London. Yeah, no wonder why they weren't involved. It was in London.
Let me tell you something. I have a whole section about the Warrens in next week's episode. And I've already told you they do jack shit. Mm-hmm. These people literally showed up at the family's house uninvited and asked if they could investigate and were told, okay. And then they did nothing.
Oh.
I would have said no. Please leave.
Yeah, please go away.
There's a little bit of unhinged
guys.
behavior going on. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna talk about that next week. So
I'd rather deal with the poltergeist.
Can I also? I'm gonna shoot some shots here. So sorry in advance to people. Can we also talk about why in the Conjuring universe they're played by beautiful people, but the actual Warrens, if you ever look at a picture of them, they're the most ugliest people I've ever seen. They just look like con artists.
They don't hire ugly actors.
Yeah, but they make them look so pretty. And
also, in the Conjuring universe, Lorraine Warren, when she was approached by Hollywood producers to make a film franchise about her and Ed's cases, she had a clause written into the contract saying the Warrens, her and Ed, could not be shown in a bad light.
Of course they did. Wouldn't you have that in your clause?
Well, if you go to the Wikipedia page for the Warrens, you'll see why she has that clause added in.
Yeah, the whole sexual assault
controversies. And,
no, yeah.
he groomed a child.
Yeah, he definitely
allegedly.
Oh yes, we have to throw allegedly in there. I think they're both dead now, right?
They are both dead.
Are they?
They are, but their daughter and her husband are alive and
notoriously litigious. They love to sue.
So he allegedly groomed a child, and
when she was 15, and then he basically forced her to have an abortion.
So when we talk shit about the Warrens, this is why.
It's justified.
No. They're pieces of shit. You're right, Hannah. It says Lorraine had it written into her contract, the Conjuring film series, that she and Ed could not be portrayed engaging in extramarital affairs or engaging in crimes like sex with a minor.
Oh, so he definitely cheated on her too.
100%.
Because she was aware of this alleged grooming case.
Because there's no reason for those specific instances to be in the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Other than
Or Frankie, I can't wait to see what parts of this conversation you keep in.
All of it. Keep all of it in. Everybody
All
needs to know their
saying.
pieces of shit.
Listen, we're saying allegedly. It's fine.
Yeah. Also, you know what? I know I talked a lot of smack on Zach Baggins in the last Haunter hoax we did. You know what? I think Zach Baggins, they have you beat as, like, my most hated ghost hunters.
Yeah, but, like, Zach Baggins has never committed, like, a crime.
That's fair, but he's also just...
He's just giving off douche bro energy.
How do you know I was gonna say douchebaggery? He wears a fedora.
That's the energy he gives off, but he's never, like, been accused of such a serious crime.
Also, I think it's hilarious that almost in, like, every room that you go to in this museum, I've never been, but I've had friends who have gone in his museum.
You've had friends who have gone to his museum?
Yeah, I have.
Who? I need to speak to them. I need to know about this museum. I'm obsessed with his museum.
My friend, Gates.
Gates went to the museum?
Gates, come on the podcast. Frankie wants to interview you.
Please come. I'm obsessed with this museum.
Gates is happily married and living with chickens, so I don't think...
Yeah. Okay, so?
I don't think she'll come on.
We can do a video call and we can see the chickens.
No, she said that he in almost every room, he, like, brags about how much money he spent on, like, these haunted items or artifacts, but in the Dybbuk box room, he refuses to disclose how much money it was.
Oh, it was way too much money for a box.
It was probably ridiculously. Like, he has no problem spouting out, like, millions of dollars. Like, she told me about this whenever she first went. I think it was Gates. This is back when I was in grad school. She was talking about this, but yeah, he has no problem voicing, like, I spent $2 million on this or whatever. He will not say how much he spent on that Dybbuk box.
Zachary Bagels, tell us how much you paid for the Dybbuk box.
I'm obsessed with that museum, by the way.
Do you want to go, Frankie?
I would love to go to that museum. But it's, like, ridiculously expensive.
It is really expensive, and there's also no fucking AC, even though it's in Nevada. She said, that she was, like, dying.
Oh, it's not freakishly cold in the building with all the haunted objects?
No, people are, like, passing out. Also, you have to pay money to go into the Demon House remains. Like, extra money.
But I want to see the dirt.
God, there used to be on Hulu, I don't know if it's still there anymore, but, like, one of his TV shows was literally just...
Why are you so fascinated by it? You don't even believe in it.
I have no idea why. Because...
You are fascinated by his business techniques.
Yeah. Here's why. Because, like, there's a whole documentary show about, like, him going through, like, the rooms, and it was, like 10 or so episodes talking about just the different exhibits they had in the history of them. And me and Sasha would watch that together, and it was so funny. But there was one episode about, like, the doll room.
Oh.
And one of the dolls that he tried to get, I don't think he got it, but they talk about it, and they're like, or maybe they did get it. And we've talked about this on the show before, but he's like, this doll, if you even look at it, you die from a heart attack. And the whole episode is just them showing the fucking doll.
Well, it doesn't count because it's on camera.
No, even photos of this doll are said to, curse you.
They tell you that. Yeah, even photos will kill you. That's what they say.
Whatever.
And
Frankie, we need to find this miniseries and force Amanda to watch it.
It's so funny. Oh my god.
Cry.
I'll try to find what that series was, and...
All right,
I'm sure it's floating around somewhere. You just need to know where to look.
So we have a haunter hoax that Amanda's going to be tortured with.
I'm so excited now.
In good news, it's my shortest haunter hoax to date.
I would hope so, because the last one...
good news for Frankie.
Yeah, the Amityville one, I think, killed him.
Well, that was my first one, and you talked for an additional 30 minutes before we even got to my story.
It was an important day. I had moved. I'd like to point out that that's some dedication that I recorded on a day that I moved.
I recorded on a day that I moved. All right, well, next week, Haunter Hoax. next month, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. That's all for this episode. Let's take care of some business.
Wait. When does episode 69 come out?
Next week.
Next
Yes.
week.
As we are recording this, episode 69 is going to go up
Next
in a week.
We are, the episode that goes up, as we're recording this, because we're recording on our usual time, as we're recording, the next episode to go up will be
Barbie and the
Barbie,
Nutcracker.
the first episode of Barbie, yeah.
Oh, so good. Frankie did not like.
Frankie, we're going to watch Rapunzel soon, so we're going to Amanda's and having a little party.
All right.
Went to Amanda's. All right, I'll tell Monique.
What, do you want to hear my dogs barking the whole time? No.
All right, I'll tell Monique.
Next week for Hannah's next haunt or hoax episode, let's take care of business. As of recording, we're on Skype and YouTube. We're on YouTube and Spotify.
Watch us on Skype.
Yeah.
Hey,
Until
Before
now.
it dies.
Hey, we're on Teams now. We're on Teams.
As of recording, we are on YouTube and Spotify. If you are watching us on YouTube, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you are informed when each episode is uploaded. If you are watching us on Spotify, listening to us on Spotify, I guess. If you're listening to us on Spotify, remember to follow the show, leave a rating and review, and answer the poll. What should the poll be this week?
What's
Is
better?
Eddie Redmayne amazing?
No, that's not the poll.
What's better, the Blair Witch Project or the Scooby-Doo Project?
No.
Yeah,
I would have said what was Shaggy's best, joke in here?
I don't have,
What was the best joke?
We have to have a yes or no.
Yes or
it's
no,
yes
but it's
or
gonna
no.
be some choices. And I'm not doing that. So what is better, the Blair Witch Project or the Scooby-Doo Project?
It should have been, should Velma get a glasses strap? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's it,
Oh,
actually.
that's better.
Should Velma
That's
get a
better.
glasses strap? Yes or no? If you, no matter where you're listening to our show, remember to share with your friends, your family, with anyone you think might enjoy the show. If you want to send us an email and give us some ideas for episodes, some thoughts about the show, and any fan questions you would like us to answer, you can send us an email over to
Nothing to See Here podcast at gmail.com. As always, here is spelled Hear.
And I think that is all of our business. No, it's not all our business.
No, you can follow us on Instagram.
Not recording on this Sunday is really throwing me off.
I'm sorry, it's all because I went on vacation.
Well, you can go on vacation. I'm thrown off. It's my own personal demons.
Jesus Christ.
If you would like to see some amazing artwork done by Amanda, if you would like to see some funny memes created by Hannah and images of some of the things that we discuss in each and every episode, you can see all of that over on our Instagram page, which is at
Nothing to See Here pod.
That is all of the business taken care of, actually, this time. I actually mean it, and it is actually true. So join us next week for Hannah's next episode of Haunt or Hoax, and goodbye and good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.